Now, if there's one thing the MMEG community has told me when I pulled the Fire Succubus is that you were going to have a very fast farming team. But as you guys know, while it is super fast, it is not 100% efficient. So if you guys haven't been fortunate enough to pull a really good farmer, don't you worry, because in today's video, we're going to talk about how you can get max value out of your farming runs. Stick around. What's going on, everybody? This is Childish. We're back at it again with the next video for Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. Before we jump into the main topic at hand, I did want to give a huge shout out to Pork Smash, Companassi, and as well as Max, who have come together to bring you guys literally the best web resource for Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. MMEG.farm, okay? Definitely want to go ahead and check it out. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. If you're not familiar with this, or if this is your first time checking it out, this is essentially a one-shop stop to everything that you can find when it comes to the details of every specific creature. If you're looking for a specific creature with a defense break or a speed buff or whatever the case may be, you can find out easily with this tool listed on the left, and then go ahead and get some additional information as you take a look at their specific skills. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it. We're going to give you guys an example so that you can use this. Now, while this is, I'm on my PC right now, you can use this on your PC or your phone, and it works really, really good. Let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what we said. We're going to look for a unit that scales with speed, and we're going to look for one that has a defense break debuff here. So let's go ahead and scroll down, see if we can find it. And after we get all of our settings set in place, we'll press apply here, and then it will go ahead and showcase us the 9 out of the 550 creatures out there that have those specific things that I was looking for. Now, if we were to take a look at the Blazing Ninja right here and take a look at a skill, right on the top there, you're going to be able to find out its damage multiplier, which is obviously really, really good. If you happen to have a couple of units that you're looking at that maybe synergize well with your team, and you're like, you know what, I don't know if I should build it, I'm curious to see what kind of damage potential it will do, you can get that information right here in detail. And then of course, when it comes to skill ups, if you're not familiar with certain units, taking a look at the unit's abilities and be able to see how many skill ups you will need to get the max cooldown or the max amount of efficiency on that skill when it comes to the debuffs or the abilities that you will improve if you put in the magical skills. You can take a look at all of that stuff. So again, I got to give a huge shout out to all three of them. This is an amazing tool, and this is just the start, guys. The fact that they brought this to the MMEG community with, what was it, not even 6 weeks now in the running, and they've been able to connect with the developing team to get a couple of information here so that they can provide this for you. I am just blown away, not at what we currently have, but what is to come. So that is super amazing, and I'm so thankful that they took the time to make this. Now, again, guys, I will go ahead and leave a link in the description down below if you want to go ahead and check it out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the video. So let's go ahead and take a look at one more run here. Again, running the Fire Succubus, I get an additional turn if I'm able to kill a unit, so it allows me to move really, really fast and just kind of blow through the units here on the first stage of Nightmare. However, the one thing that we need to take a look at is the Wizard, as you guys saw right there, is a unique mechanic in this game that is going to allow you to do a really good amount of damage as you level him up so that you can go ahead and take out your farmer and be able to use regular fodder. So what we're going to do today is we're going to dim down the damage that we currently have on our Wizard because that's the way how I have it spec'd. And we're going to showcase a couple of runs in the advanced stages as well as the nightmare stages so that you guys can get an idea of what we're talking about here. So for one thing to kind of point out, we got the Wizard right here. We're using the Chimera build, and then we're running a heavy amount of DPS from the Chimera on the top here. So of course, if you guys have already taken a look at this, this actually has not changed since my first video. We basically have taken a look at all of his abilities and see what we can do to get a ton of value out of this one early on in the game. Again, there's 3 different magical houses. There's tons of way to build it, but when it comes to the kind of meta and how people are creating compositions, they're very, very heavy on the support units. Then providing yourself a damage build on your Chimera versus an ability that's going to provide a chance to proc, I think is going to be the best way to go. So as you see on the top here, these 3 abilities are the same. They're called Strength. This is going to provide you a permanent damage increase on your Chimera. Sure, you can go ahead and take a look at an ability that's going to increase your attack, creature's attack, or possibly provide a defense break. But again, those are all chances to proc versus having just straight raw damage. So obviously, when we're thinking about our composition and all the tools that we're using in that specific composition in order to be consistent, having the chance to proc is nice, but the standard, just the flat out damage that you can provide is definitely going to help you out if you are trying to get the most out of your farming. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take away some of these abilities here so that you guys can see. Now, again, as a level 1 player, you're going to start out with 1 point to use, and I believe every 2 turns you will get yourself an additional point. I started out with a strength build on the top and then went to the defense break because I definitely want to speed up a couple of my runs for like regular dungeon farming, so the defense break was fine. What we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 more additional strengths on this top ability here. Now we have 12 points total, which of course, since we got an initial point at the start, this is going to put us to basically what is a level 25 wizard. So this is a recommendation that I'm going to be setting as a minimum for the nightmare stages, but we'll definitely take a look at the advanced stages if you guys are not as far into the game. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and go to the battle screen. Again, this is something that we talked about quite a bit when it comes to the floating islands. This is by far the first stage that you're going to spend a lot of time on, or the first island that you're going to spend a lot of time, simply for the fact that it provides you a quick and easy way of getting those vitality glyphs in order to make your units tank so that you can progress easier into the game. Okay, we'll go ahead and take on stage 1. We'll start it out here, and we'll go ahead and bring a team with no farmer at all. Okay, take note that the stage, if we take a look at the wave 3 here, the boss is a air element, and I'm bringing in an earth unit versus the 3 elements here. This is going to allow the boss to focus on those other units if they make it that far. If not, it's all good. Now keep in mind that even though I have one specific element that has the elemental advantage over the boss, it's not necessary for the advanced stage, as I believe that these stats that we currently have in our wizard is going to be enough to do it. So let's go ahead and take a run so you guys can see how it goes. Now, of course, when it comes to these fights, it's going to take a little bit longer to get done. This is to be expected. One of the things that we always think about when it comes to farming is like we want it to be consistent, but we also want it to be fast, right? We don't want to be sitting here for 2 years getting it done. And so when it comes to my thought process for the free-to-play community, it should be about the efficiency and making sure you're getting a ton of value versus trying to be super fast, right? So as you can see, the hero was able to use his second ability, or sorry, he used his main ability on that second stage, just completely wiping it. And because of the fact that our units have, even though they have no glyphs or whatnot with respect to the earth golem, which we'll be getting into in a little bit here, they have enough HP and defense in order to basically take a couple of hits from these creatures just long enough to go ahead and get your wizard available. Now, if you guys don't know how it works, every single turn that goes from your side as well as the other side increases the counter on that wizard. So over time, your wizard is going to be able to attack, maybe 1, 2, or every 3, 3 times, or 1 to 2 times in this particular stage, right? So now, as you guys see, the biggest thing about that is that we were able to clear it. Even though it was advanced stage, there was a fixated amount of XP that you're able to gain. And when you use a farmer, while you can speed up the process, unfortunately you lose the value of XP gain on that specific unit. Now, of course, you can mess around with it to where you're only farming with 3 creatures or 2 creatures to give some of those other creatures a little bit more of a boost. But again, that XP gets split evenly between all the units that you're using at. So while it may be great for you to clear some of the achievements that allow you to clear stages with 1, 2, or 3 creatures, once those achievements are done, I would definitely move on to what you can do to get the most value out of your runs. Okay, so that advanced stage is done. Now, this is the crazy thing about it. We did it at the advanced stage, but as you guys might have guessed, can we do it in the nightmare stage? When we first took a look at it, and when I say we, I want to give a huge shout out to Math with Math Plus Games. If you guys haven't heard from him, or if you guys are not too familiar with him, you will definitely hear about him soon enough. Okay, he's an exceptional person that has a lot of passion for theory crafting these types of games. So we took a look at this on his stream, and we're going to take the time right now to go ahead and showcase it. Okay, take note that we are a level 25 wizard right now with a focus on the 2 spots up top to provide the extra damage for the strength, and then we have the defense break on the bottom here. Could we play around with this ability that provides the speed of your enemies, decrease the speed of your enemies? Again, it's a chance, it's not a guarantee. So this is the way how I have mine built just for the current thing. And of course, it may change over time. Now, the biggest thing about what people were struggling with when they tried this in the nightmare stage, and this is what Math and I realized, is that these units are way, way stronger than the ones on the advanced stage, and rightfully so. They got a lot more hit points, and they just hit exceptionally hard. So what we realized was that if we were able to put a couple of glyphs, some really cheap glyphs, maybe 3 blue vitality glyphs, bring it up to +7, all flat HP or flat defense, we're able to go ahead and provide enough effective HP on one specific unit to go ahead and make sure that he outlasts the stage in order to get the clear and get the win. Okay, so obviously, you already know what I'm trying to do when it comes to the setup here. We have basically the Earth Golem as well as 3 different air units. Now, as you guys know, we already talked about it in Wave 3. The boss is going to be air element, so we're looking to bring in a unit that has the elemental advantage towards that. Why? Because it's going to reduce the amount of damage that we take from it. And as you can see, I also chose a unit that is a defender, so he's going to have a little bit better base stats in order to get a little bit more value out of it. Getting back to the glyphs that we talked about, we use blue glyphs. The reason why Matt said we should use blue glyphs is because of the fact that those are relatively cheap to remove. It costs 5,000 crystals to go ahead and remove, so 15,000 crystals total. If you think about what we can obtain in a run for the nightmare stages, you know, after we get these units leveled out, we easily make up that value that we spent on not just those 3 glyphs, removing it from a unit, but also the amount that we initially invested by leveling it up. So for me, I believe that like I said, getting them to +7, all flat HP or flat defense, getting them to, it was roughly, I think it was about a 6,500 or so HP pool on this unit. That was what allowed me to do. But of course, it's going to be very, very dependent on which unit you use because of the fact that of their base stats being a little bit different. But again, that's a little bit too much detail. Let's just go ahead and get into the run so you guys can see what we're talking about here. So as it loads up, again, this stage is actually the first stage that I use, Nightmare. I use this for everything that I do just for my regular farming. The reason being is because this one has all of them are air units, but with the exception of 2 units, which are water. Now, the cool thing about this is that the Earth Golem, and when you take a look at the elemental tree, it's kind of, I want to say not catty corner, but it's on the opposite end of neutral, right, on the water side, but it has the elemental advantage towards air. So there's never going to be a situation where we have like an elemental disadvantage towards one of the units. So if you are looking to do this, then you definitely have to, you know, keep that in mind because again, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where at least one unit has that potential value. So here we are on the final stage. Again, we lost a couple of units and it looks like we're going to lose our air units, but it's okay. We're not even concerned about it. Because of the fact that we have enough tankiness on our golem. And as you can see, we were able to do an exceptional amount of damage, but it was not enough to take it out. So again, even though you guys saw previously I had it set up as a level 48 wizard, I was literally able to one-shot it because I did 10k damage. With this setup here, I was able to go ahead with my wizard. He got 2 hits in, he was able to get the job done, and I literally am farming Nightmare with no XP loss in any of my units. Again, as you can see, 1252 times 4 is what we should be getting, but anybody that currently farms with the farmer is not going to get that value because we're losing it out if we put a farmer in. We're losing out that amount of XP. So if you guys are looking to get the most kind of value that you can and you want to, and you're not really concerned about trying to be super fast, then definitely go with this route. I encourage you to do so. Again, I'm not, I know that it's going to seem like it's not the best way to go because you're going to spend a little bit more time once you get that unit, you know, leveled up. You're going to spend a little bit more time removing the glyphs and put it on a new unit. Again, if you are using blue glyphs, they're going to cost 5,000 crystals to remove. And so 15,000 crystals that you will easily get when you sell your other glyphs that you don't want to keep, or just the crystals that you get over time. If you invest a little bit of crystals into those glyphs and have no problem taking the time to, you know, move it from one Earth Defender or one Earth unit to the next, if you get them, then you're going to be able to really get a ton of value out of it. So that's pretty much going to be it, guys. If I have any other notes that I want to throw in that I might have forgot, I'll definitely go ahead and put it up right now. Outside of that, though, I hope this video video helped you. And again, huge shout out to Math with Math Plus Games. I know there was a lot of people out there that have played around with different theories and different thoughts about this, but they basically showed it on the advanced stage, and it was Math Plus Games that actually sat back and said, is there a way that we can do it in the nightmare stages so that everybody can take advantage of it as they progress into the later stages of the game? So I'm really thankful that he was able to work with me on that to get that information out for you guys, because again, I know it's going to be extremely useful. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish with Childish Plays. Checking out. Take care, and we will see you all in the next video for Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. I'm out.